Hi Jai, my name is Arakimi bin Asmi. My matrix number is 28188. Today I would like to present about my report, which is spending on sugar sweetened beverage, which is we call it as SSB. Let's go into the introduction. So Malaysia SSB consumption emphasized the issues of SSB use in Malaysia. State that 36% of Malaysians consume SSBs at least 3 times per day. Noted that energy drinks and soft drinks and soda are the most common options among the young people. Research finding that the mention of study where 89.3% of participants reported drinking SSBs daily explain that the higher SSBs consumption is linked to the factors like gender, poor family income, and high fast food intakes. Health and economic risk discuss the risk posed by SSBs to health and the economy. Refer to the study suggesting that taxing SSB is an effective way to reduce added sugar. Provide the example of a 26.8% reduction in SSB purchases where such a tax was implemented. Now let's move on to the problem statement. Significance of the study addresses that the concern of rising living expenses across all the age groups, financial strain as living costs increase, individual face financial pressure, including spending on sugar beverage. Research contribution that the study explores primary and auxiliary factors influencing sugar sweetened beverage expenditure. An impact on the incentive is investigate how discounts, rebates, or government subsidies affect beverage spending habits. Empowering decision aim to empower individuals to allocate resources wisely while choosing beverage. Financial prudence seeks to help people manage finance and plan consumption patterns related to sugary drinks. Let's go to the research objective. First, in investigating spending habits, which is explore how people spending on SSB, understanding the patterns related to beverage consumption. Second is the correlation with income levels. Examine the relationship between income levels and spending on SSB. Investigate whether income influence beverage expenditure. Third is the impact of discount. Analyze how discounted price affect purchasing behavior and consider demographic factors that may moderate this impact. Now let's move on to the 1.4, which is scope of study. The study investigates how people's spending habits related to SSB. Data collected through surveys understand the purchasing habits, the attitude and perceptions. Specific areas explored, which is frequency of purchases. The study examined how often they buy sugar sweetened beverage. The income influence. The study analyzed how income levels impacts spending on decisions. The third, which is the price consideration. The research investigate how pricing affects consumers' purchasing choices. Now let's move on to the significance of study. The importance of studying SSB spending. SSB consumption has significant implications for economic and public health policies. Health consequences associated with SSB include cardiovascular disease, type of diabetes, and obesity. Understanding SSB spending can inform policies to reduce consumption and improve public health. Second is the role of taxes on SSB. Research suggests that taxing an SSB can lead to fewer purchases, potentially reducing consumption. Fiscal measures are useful in curbing SSB intake. Third is socio-economic impact. Lower income households are disproportionately affected by SSB consumption and related health risks. Analyzing SSB spending can reveal socio-economic disparities and dietary practices. Fourth, which is the relevance for Malaysia. Given the rising prevalence of dietary chronic illness in Malaysia, this research is valuable. Policymakers and healthcare providers can use these insights to promote healthier beverage choices. Fifth, the contribution to public health policies and economics. These studies add to our understanding of public health policies and health economics. Now let's move on to the literature review. First is the spending on sugar sweetened beverage. Despite a substantial numbers of consumers, insufficient research has explored factors influencing SSB consumption. AZAD 2023 revealed that global SSB consumption is rising, with 68% of household spending on SSBs. Second is the income and beverage spending. Crucial role of income Lower income and minority communities exhibit higher SSB consumption. Correlation with diet quality. Lower income individuals consume fewer fruits and vegetables, more fats and less fiber. Third is the age and health concern. High consumption among teens and young adults. SSB consumption is a significant public health issue, especially among teenagers and young adults. Fourth, which is the discounted price. Consumer behavior and price reductions. Consumer leverage price reduction purchases more products. Lower income population exhibits higher own price elasticity for various foods, making price promotion more effective for them. Fifth, which is trends. Social media and unhealthy food consumption. Research indicates a link between social media use and increased consumption of unhealthy foods and higher BMI. Now let's move on to the review of theoretical studies. Focus of previous studies, limited research, specifically examines spending on sugar-sweetened beverage. The income on spending relationship is significantly influenced by spending decisions for household and individuals. Dracopoulos in 2021 builds a Friedman's idea, correlation between present and spending and fiscal multipliers. Now let's move on to the theoretical framework. Explanatory variables. As you can see in the box, income which is we examine how income levels impact SSB consumption. Second is the age and health concerns. Age, demography and health consideration influence purchasing decision related to SSB. Next is the dependent variable. Our focus is understanding the factors that drive consumer spending in this category. We employ econometric analysis to study this relationship. Our investigation includes popular SSB brands such as Zeus, Coffee, Starbucks, Tea Life and others. Now let's move on to the literature gap, which is existing studies. Importance of economics models. Econometric models provide a clear visualization of relationship between dependent and independent variables. Second is the specific SSBs under study. Why they study specific SSBs? Because franchise outlets for this brand are increasing and impacting consumer demand. Now let's move on to the section 3, which is methodology. Research context is growing SSB consumption and health concern make this topic crucial. The data collection we use a Google Form questionnaire with a target response rate of 30. One of the key findings is younger adults or men and lower income individuals consume more SSB. Implication and policy consideration use data to design targeted intervention for reducing SSB intake. Public health insights into Malaysia's SSB habit-informed regulations. Further research explore effects to price breaks on SSB purchases. Now let's move on to the variable operationalization table. As you can see, the dependent variable is spending on sugar sweetened beverage. We're interested in understanding how much people spend on these drinks. The explanatory variables, which is age, income, health concern, discounted price, trends, we collected all the data using specific questionnaire items related to each variable. For example, we asked the health concerns about how do they concern about their health using a scale from 0 to 5. Now let's move on to the model specification. As you can see, the econometrics model have the influencing factors such as income, age, health concern, discount and trend. The better one is income. As an income increases, individuals tend to spend more sugary drinks due to greater disposable income. Beta 2 is age. Older individuals are more likely to spend on these beverages, possibly to due established preference. The beta 3, health concern, which is have 2. The positive beta 3, high health concern lead to increased spending, preserve a healthier alternative. And the negative part is beta 3, health conscious individual reduce spending on sugary drinks. Discount, which is beta 4. Discount reduce overall expenditure on sugar sweetened beverage. Discount also may lead to bulk purchases, increasing spending. And beta 5 is trending. Following trends increases spending, for example, social media and marketing influence. It is also can be a negative. Less trend influenced individual may spend more consistently In the interrelationships, these factors are interconnected and impact spending patterns. Now let's move on to the research question method table. In this table, we can see the research question and the specific question, which is the sub-research question, and the method that we use to ask them. So the first research question is what is the pattern of spending habits of people regarding sugar sweetened beverage, and the specific question that we ask is how frequently do people indulge in SSB in a month, which is how many did they consume in a month. One of the method is ordinary least square, and the other is summation statistics. Let's explain the table for this research method question, which is from the research question is big and the sub-research question is smaller, and the method that we use to ask them. Now let's move on to the summary statistic table. As you can see, the table we have variable, mean, standard deviation, and minimum and maximum. So let's go to the mean. The mean value is give us insight for the central tendency of each variable. For example, average of age and the average of trend. Standard deviation measures tells us how spread out the data around the mean. A higher standard deviation indicates the greater variability. The minimum and maximum. This range provide context. For instance, the minimum and maximum age in our sample. P-value, as you can see, for the dependent variable, which is the SSB consumed per month, is actually significant because it is lower than 0.5. So meaning we have to reject rational, and there is the relationship between the spending and the other key variables. Now let's move on to the model estimation. I actually use a linear model considering factors like age, health concern, discounted price, trends, and social media influence. Coefficient indicates how these factors impact SSB exposure. As you can see, the SRF model, sample regression function model, we have y which is spend equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 age plus beta 2 health concern plus beta 3 discounted price, b4 trends plus b5 social media influence, followed by mu, which is error term. So for y is actually SSB. So 1.803 is actually a coefficient that we get from SSPS, and the negative 0.5 age and 0.13 plus health concern, and negative 0.13 is discounted price, negative 0.45 is trends, and negative 0.17 is social media influence, also followed by error term. Now here is the conclusion part. Expenditure patterns on SSB. These studies explores how SSB consumption relates to income levels. Findings and implication. The study likely identifies consumption patterns and their links to income disparities. Contribution and limitation. The research add to our understanding of social capital's roles in economics. Methodological improvements such as larger sample size would enhance generalizability. And lastly is the policy implication. Evidence based on decisions are essential for public health and economic well-being. Understanding SSB expenditure dynamics inform policies benefit individual and society. And that is all for me. Thank you.